This is Manchester United versus Arsenal preview. This is the biggest game in the league for Manchester United. Whether we like it or not, this structure, Man United versus Arsenal, is always going to be a big game. Whether we like it or not, we understand the rivalry between Manchester United and City. We understand the rivalry between Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur. However, in my opinion, this rivalry here is what the Premier League needs the most. Manchester United versus Arsenal. Prime Manchester United versus prime Arsenal is what the Premier League needs in the Premier League. If we get back to the best part of what the Premier League gave us, we are thinking about Roy Keane versus Patrick Vieira. That's what we are thinking about. We are thinking about Sir Alex Ferguson versus the French maestro himself in Arsene Wenger. That's what we are thinking about. And that is the reason why, in my opinion, this is the big one. This is game week 23, if I am not mistaken. We are going to the Emirates, which has been a fortress for the host this season. Nobody has defeated Arsenal at home this year. No single person. The last time I was able to remember that was Jose Mourinho at the Stamford Bridge. And we know how that turned out. They won the league. They obviously never dropped 3 points at home at Stamford Bridge. And Arsenal have been able to do that so far this season. Now, the key thing about this situation is that if we look back to the start of the season, Manchester United actually played very well against Arsenal. And of course, the goal from Declan Rice, if I'm not mistaken, is what turned the tides and gave Arsenal 3 points. But the question today is, what are the stakes and the standings of this game? And that's what we are here to talk about at Pillar Sports. You know it. The bouncer will say, hey, you get me? That is what we are talking about, and we are internet ready. Hey, you get me? Because Arsenal sit top of the league and are pushing for their first title in over 2 decades, with 7 points clear of Manchester City and of Aston Villa. Manchester United are in the mid to upper table, rebuilding under interim boss Michael Carrick with newfound confidence after a high-profile derby win against Manchester City. This is not just another fixture. I need you guys to understand this. It is a title statement opportunity for Arsenal and a measuring stick for the United season. So without further ado, let's get this party started. Let's go. So first things we need to understand is recent form and the big numbers that we face in the situation. And I'm sitting back so you guys understand that I'm a little bit relaxed in this situation, because tomorrow, once the game starts, I'm going to be on the edge of my seat, because every tackle, every ball that goes across the pitch is going to be worth every wow. You get me? Arsenal are unbeaten in their last plus 12 matches across competitions. They have a strong record, rarely beaten at the Emirates, often scoring first on early. You get me? They score first and they score early at the Emirates. Defensive solidity is there, backed by smart set piece play among the top in Europe. You can arguably say that Arsenal are the best team in Europe. And do you know how even saying those things hurt me in my stomach? It hurt me. It hurt me. Because the competition has always been Man United versus Arsenal. And Man United has majority of time been on top. But right now, looking at Manchester United, we are gaining momentum. 2-0 win against Manchester City boosted the morale of the players. It boosted the morale of the fans. It boosted the morale of the club itself in entirety. However, we are still inconsistent away from home. We are definitely not defensively reliable away from home. And that is something that the head-to-head would absolutely show us. Arsenal have been dominant recently, winning most of their last meetings and particularly strong at home versus United. Historically, United hold more wins overall, but recent trend strongly favors Arsenal. Now, the key part about this situation is that the reason I'm wearing black and I don't have the black kit, so bear with me, is the last time we defeated Arsenal at home convincingly in the Premier League was the Millie Rock You get me? You remember Jesse Lingard, Millie rocking and doing the moonwalk on Arsenal, drinking their tears type-ish. That was the last time we defeated them at home. And I'm not counting the FA Cup win, because that went to the penalties. But the truth about it is that, based on the tactical matchup that we have been able to see against Arsenal today, it has been problematic because Man United have not had the upper hand tactically against Arsenal. And that also leads us to us talking about the tactical matchup that Arsenal are going to bring. Arsenal are going to look to be creative and they're going to look to control the game. I know you might say, oh, now that is very basic of an analysis, but wait, let's break it down for you. Arsenal operates with possession dominance. They are patient and tactically, structure-wise, they want to control through the midfield and they understand how to use wide play in order for them to break your team down. They always go with the three-man midfield core of most often Rice, Odegaard, and Martin Zubimendi, who personally, I would say, has the biggest chance to be the signing of the season. To dominate transitions, press intelligently, and build from the deeper role, that team, that midfield right there, might just be the best midfield in the world of football. I know that's crazy to think about, but it's the truth. They might just be the best team in world football. By the way, I just got a notification right now that Ethan Nwaneri has scored for Marseille on his debut day. Shout out to him. That's a talent that Arsenal did not and were not able to put into their side. So let's not digress. Let's get back to it. Of course, we know their secret weapon is the set piece play. Set piece FC, everybody understands that Arsenal is the set piece FC. But Arsenal are having among one of the highest set piece goal output anywhere in Europe. Anywhere. I think the last time I saw this kind of output was Stoke under Tony Pulis, with Shine Rod Cross being the centre back for them. That's the highest time I've seen this amount of output from set pieces. The attack, of course, will thrive on the wide, quick combinations, the midfield tempo, the intelligent positioning, fullbacks getting forward, midfield rotating to create overload. But what can Manchester United do to hurt them? Manchester United need to understand that this game has to be transition and a direct threat. We have to play with the likes of Mbeumo, Ahmad, and Bruno Fernandes, with Patrick Dogo also being in the team. Basically, how we played Manchester City, we need to bring it onto this game. And that's what we are going to talk about right now. Man United tactical pivot under Michael Carrick has leaned on is basically the quick transition attack, the counter attacks with pace in forwards like Brian Mbeumo and creative influence of Bruno Fernandes. We need those two to absolutely be clicking on all cylinders. We all saw the rotation that they were doing with Bruno Fernandes, Mbeumo and Ahmad. We saw that rotation and it worked out so well under Manchester City. But one thing is for sure, we did it last week. Mikel Arteta is not a fool to not be able to watch the game or how we beat City in order for him to find a counter on that situation. But Manchester United also have the midfield grit from Casemiro and Kobe Mainoo to balance the attack and they cover the gaps. And this game would just have to be one thing that we need to put in full-fledged form for us to be able to win this game. We need everybody firing on all cylinders. Their biggest challenge for us in this game is sustaining pressure against high possession teams. Conceding first would often force us into uncomfortable chasing roles, and we cannot afford to give Arsenal the first goal. If we score first, we bring Arsenal into our game. And that is why we need to make sure going into this game, Michael Carrick needs to tell the players, do not let them score first. Our goal is to score within the first 15 minutes. If you score within the first 15 minutes, Arsenal are going to come out full-fledged because they are at home and their fans are very, 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 very weak-minded in order because they fear they are going to allow Manchester City back in the race. And the truth about it is Manchester City just got 3 points today, with Anton Semenyo and Omar Mamouche, the forgotten man, coming in and giving a 2-goal lead to for Manchester City. Arsenal are going to be under pressure tomorrow. And that is the key part. That is right there the reason why Manchester United have an opportunity to defeat this team. Key battles that we are going to be needing to win in this game. As a Manchester United fan, for Arsenal, first of all, the point of view, Martin Odegaard would need to be the creative fulcrum for his team. Link up play and vision to unlock stubborn defenses, because that is what Manchester United are going to do. I wish Matthijs de Ligt was in this game. Declan Rice, he has to be an elite pressing organizer and transitional controller, because he needs to be able to defend on the back foot. He needs to be able to understand that if Manchester United get the counter-attack, just like what we saw 2v4 against Manchester City, that is what they are going to be seeing, especially when Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus will probably be the last man back. That is going to be the situation. For Gabriel Jesus, Trossard and Bukayo Saka, the attackers who will basically be in the half spaces and try to exploit by creating scoring opportunities against Manchester United. That would be the hard part for Manchester United. But now let's get to Manchester United and what the key battles will be. Manchester United's Bruno Fernandes will be the chief creator. We all know this. His chance creation is crucial to Manchester United's offensive spark. We know he's the best number 10 in the world football. And we know that if we do not have Bruno Fernandes linking up play, creating chances, we drop in our chance creation for maybe 80%, because that is his output. For the likes of Patrick Dogu and Bryan Mbeumo, young offensive pace threat in behind can hurt Arsenal if space opens up quickly. We saw the pace of Patrick Dogu against Manchester City. For that first goal for Bryan Mbeumo, we need that coming back, getting the ball and hitting them on a blistering account that they will not be able to come back and face, or to come back to perform transitional defense for us. And last but not the least, in terms of what we need as key battles, is Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo need to win the battle of the midfield. The midfield balance is crucial for this game. How they press, how we recover, how we cover to define Manchester United's ability to counter, all has to do with Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo. But this is my predicted tactical flow for this game, because this is the way I would want Manchester United to draw out this game in order for us to actually win it. Arsenal will probably open in the first 20-30 minutes. Arsenal will press early, seeking control and tempo in territorial balance and dominance. United will probably, via quick counters, hit diagonal balls, try and bypass Arsenal press and hit them in spacing behind the fullbacks. That is what I believe is going to happen within the first 20 to 30 minutes. Now, in the middle phase of the game, within the 30 to 60 minutes, Arsenal will probably score. I hope it's not the case. But if Arsenal scores, United would start risking being pinned and forced into risky transitions, and that is not what we want. United's best response to that is, if trailing, we likely need to be more compact in a defensive shape and hit on high tempo counters. So that's the key part. If we concede, instead of us then having to push all our players forward, no, Arsenal are a better side, and we need to understand that. We need to come back into that mid block, sit down, get the ball and hit on the counter, because they will be having confidence. They will want to put 2-3 on us. And if we get the opportunity to break on the counter, we need to make them pay. And the last part of the game, late game, set pieces will be decisive in this situation. Both sides are effective on those situations. Man United are effective on set pieces. Arsenal are the best team in the world on set pieces, but I think Man United are a close second, if not third, in the Premier League. The fitness depth of the substitutions would absolutely also matter. Smart substitutions will matter in this situation. So Michael Carrick, get it right. Get it right, especially if United start chasing the game. We need to get it right. Not substituting a defender to put another defender. We need to get it right. And if we do, we have a chance to win this game, especially because of the way we are coming off Manchester City. Now, for the expected lineups. For Arsenal, it's going to probably the 4-3-3 that we all expect and we all know that Arteta plays right now. It's going to be David Raya, probably Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, Declan Rice, Zubimendi, Odegaard, and at the attacking point is going to be Bukayo Saka, Victor Gyökeres, and Trossard. I know a lot of people will be like, oh no, what about Gabriel Jesus? He started against Inter Champions League. I don't think they would risk him, especially he just coming back from a long-term injury, playing back-to-back starts. I don't think so. So I think Gyökeres would definitely be the one to start. And don't get me wrong, I actually think it's more preferable for Manchester United's defense that Gyökeres is the one that starts. He's just clunky. He doesn't have the movement like Gabriel Jesus, and he is more of a sit down, try and dominate your defender, which Manchester United will be doing very well on, especially with Harry Maguire in this team and Martinez being the guy to mark Gyökeres. For Manchester United's team, I think we are going to play a 4-2-3 or a 4-2-3-1 depending on the way we set up when we are attacking or when we are defending. It's going to be, of course, Lamens in goal. Diego Dalot will probably start this, which that only tells us that we need to go into the market to buy a fullback too. It's going to be Harry Maguire and Martinez in the centre-back positions, with Luke Shaw being the left-back. Casemiro and Meno would absolutely come back to play this game. You would then have Fernandes playing the number 10. In the striking forward or the attacking phase, you're going to have Amad Diallo, Patrick Dogu, and Brian Mbeumo. The reason I already stated in the video, we need pace, we need counter, and those three are our fastest attackers going forward. It's our fastest attacker going forward. But my verdict on this game and the prediction for me personally would be Arsenal are going to look to control the possession. They are going to look to exploit transition and set pieces. They are going to try and maintain defensively disciplined structure. However, Manchester United would have to aim on hitting them on a counter-attack quickly, using creativity from Fernandes to break down a low block or a transitional block that they have set, stay compact and frustrate Arsenal early in order for us to get Emirates booing or get Emirates restless for us to then take advantage and hit them on a counter. Now, the prediction in this situation is that Arsenal is slightly favored to win this, given that it's a home game, with the form, the momentum, and the recent head-to-head dominance. The shape of the match suggests that Arsenal will absolutely win it, but in my mind, everything in my mind is probably telling me that Man United are going to smash and grab this one. We are going to win this game, and I believe we are going to win it. So do not put your money on the bets that I just made, but I just say I have this belief and I have this energy that Manchester United are going to win this game. But let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that follow button if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.